Hey, welcome to Jack's Tech Corner Live Edition. I'm your host Jack, and this is another Photoshop Elements video tutorial training session live on Justin TV. I seem to be getting some feedback here from somewhere. Hold on. I think it's actually coming from this one. Yeah, it is. Okay, so very good. We are coming to you live, like I said, from Justin TV. This week we are also simulcasting. We are simulcasting on the Ustream.tv. You can find us there. It's a lower resolution stream, but we are available on Ustream. So this week, I don't know how many viewers we're going to have here. Hopefully everybody's coming aboard, and we're going to be bringing up live here. I think first what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take a second here, and I'm going to just tweet this back out, so people know we're live and on the air, and hopefully we can bring up some viewers here. Okay, we're just going to send that out in a tweet message here. There we go. Okay, Twitter was kind of weird this morning, actually, and I don't know why. It was just kind of weird because it was not posting my tweets. But I kind of feel that that's probably because well, I don't really know why exactly it was. But then I tried it from my cell phone, from my BlackBerry, and everything seemed to work just fine. So I didn't have any problems at all. It's weird trying to find you guys, trying to get the viewers over to Jack's Tech Corner here, live on Ustream, or live on Justin TV, simulcasting on Ustream. So hopefully everything sounds okay. You can hear me all right. I'm going to take these headphones off unless we get a caller here. You can call in at 724-701-0911 or Skype me at Jack's Tech Corner. Okay, so we are going to take those off air just so I can see. Yeah, the audio looks all right there. What we're going to start with this morning, I thought, was talking about contact sheets and how they work, and being able to use contact sheets. And there's a few different ways of doing it, but the first one I thought I would show you how to do is actually on the Mac, and then I'm going to show you on Windows. There's a slight difference. If you purchased my Photoshop Elements 9 DVD, the most recent DVD, you'll find that actually what happened was I recorded that on my Mac, and I guess it's slightly different on the PC side how to do contact sheets. So let's go ahead first. I'm going to show you on the Mac how to do contact sheets, and then we'll go right into the Windows PC, and I'll show you how to do it there. So let me go ahead and bring this up, and I'm going to show you this now. Okay, and hopefully you can see this okay when it comes up. Let's go ahead and switch over to it now. Alright, and let's go ahead and get started here. Welcome back once again to Jack's Tech Corner. I'm your host Jack, and if you're new to the show, then welcome aboard. Glad you can stop by and hopefully learn some Photoshop elements and how to actually do some editing with your pictures. And I can say Happy New Year to everybody. It's another great new year here in 2011, and hopefully you're going to stick with me all year, subscribe to the shows, and through this year we'll learn. And if you notice, this is a pre-recorded video, folks. Videos for quite a few years now, if you go back through the videos. And I'm glad that everybody's sticking with me. The subscriptions have been great. So please keep subscribing to the show. So today we are going to talk about how to create a contact sheet. Now, Everybody, I'm probably sure, has maybe played around with contact sheets, but I'm going to put a little twist on it today and show you a nice way to save that as a file so you can use that later on, or actually even email it maybe to a client or to family or friends, and allow them to pick out pictures that you want them to have developed, or contact you and say, hey, I'd like to have these printed off. So what we're going to start with here, we're going to start in the organizer, and we're going to grab some pictures. We're going to open those pictures up in the editor. So I'll just grab this row of pictures here. I'll right click on here, and we are going to simply open these pictures up in our editor. And as you can see here along the top on the tabs, each picture is open individually. Now what you can do here is go back through here and you can edit these. So you're working for a client, you're doing your edits. We'll just do a quick edit here just to show you that you could do some quick editing. We're going to auto level it. And that looks really bad. Maybe we'll take that off. Just undo that edit. You can auto level contrast, lighting. We've talked about this. Auto color. Seems to want to leave it black. Let's just leave it black for right now for this demonstration. And we'll just get back out of here. So we have our edits all done, and you're ready to go ahead and send these to your client. Now, you can save them, and I'm sure individually email these to somebody, which is going to take you quite a while. Or you can create what's known as a contact sheet and email that sheet. But instead of taking the contact sheet and printing it, like I said, we're going to email it. So what we're going to do here is take these pictures, go to File, Contact Sheet, and just simply click on that. This is going to give us some options. Use Open Documents. That's what we want to do. You can also change this and use a folder if you just want to pick out a folder on your computer. But we're going to use the Open Documents because we've been working for the client. We're getting everything set up here. 8 by 10 is the total document size in inches. The resolution is 300 pixels. You can change that if you wish. I suggest just leave it at 300. A contact sheet is very much like proofs. They're not the highest quality. They just want to give the general idea to the viewer of what they may want to pick up. Now columns, you can do this however you want. 4 across by 3 rows. 3 rows down, 4 columns across. We can change this by 3 by 6 if we want to do 3 by 6. However you really want to do this. So once you have that done, simply click OK, and you'll see here it's going to start taking those documents and placing them onto a new file. And it's going to be called Contact Sheet. So there we have it. They're all on here. The names are on here. And I suggest to make sure the names stay on there, because when somebody calls you, if it's a client, and they say, we want DSC_0136, you'll know that that is the picture that they want you to have developed for them. So I would suggest leave the names on those. It never hurts. Now what we want to do is we want to actually print this. But we're going to have to go to print, do a couple steps, and then we can save it. And I'm going to show you how to save this. So I'm going to close these ones out up here. All my edited pictures. We're just going to click on here. We're going to say don't save on that one. That was the one that we actually did the basic edit. You probably would want to save them if you're doing a bunch of edits. So we're going to close these out, so all we have left here is the contact sheet itself. So the contact sheet is set up. We're going to go to File and Print just like we normally would. Now, here's the catch. I am working on a Mac right now. You can see this is my Mac. But in Windows, you're going to select a printer, and we're going to be able to select a printer called Qt PDF. Now, this is a free program. Let's go down here to my web browser. It's at qtpdf.com. You just download the free file right here. It's Windows 7 ready. So if you have Windows 7 or XP, it works on all of them just fine. Go ahead and click that and go ahead and download it. You don't need the professional version. The free version works absolutely fine. You'll download it and install it. Now when you install it, it's going to tell you that you need another add-on program called Ghostwriter. Accept that as a default and let it also install Ghostwriter. It's just another part of creating a PDF. So we'll go ahead and close this. So you would select up here Cute PDF Writer, but we're on the Mac, so we're just going to leave it as that printer. Then we'll hit print. What happens now on the Mac is you have the printer up here. We also have PDF. We want to save this as a PDF. Contact Sheet 01. It's a good enough name. You could name this whatever you want. And then simply click on Save. We're going to replace one. I created one earlier, so we're going to replace that. Okay, so now we have a file that's suitable for emailing without having to email all those other files. It is right here. We're going to open that up. And I'll blow this up a little bit so you can see it. Let's pull this out just a little bit. And there you have it. There's your pictures on one PDF file that we can now take and actually email it out. So on Windows it's going to be the same thing. Just like I said, under Printer, select Cute PDF Writer, and you will actually be able to create a PDF file and actually send that out. Just close this out here. Okay, so that's how we would go about doing this on the actual on the Mac, on Photoshop Elements 9. That's on a Mac. That's going to show you how to do that. Let's actually get this out of the way now. Just drop this down. Don't need the video anymore. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try my very best to show you how to do it on a Windows PC. Hopefully you'll be able to see this okay on the Windows side. Unfortunately, excuse me, I'm going to have to turn to the right here just a little bit, and I don't think my mic stand's going to get there for me. So hopefully you can still hear me. I'm going to turn my head just a little bit here. I'll turn this mic a little bit this way. That's weird. It was vibrating off the fan. Okay, I'll turn my head a little bit this way. Yeah, you can still hear me. You should be able to anyway. What I'm going to do now is talk you through doing this on a Windows PC and how to make a contact sheet. I told you a little bit about it in the video itself, but this will help you a little bit more on the Windows side. So let me go ahead and bring up the Windows computer. Okay. Alright, so we got good audio here on the Windows computer. This is Photoshop Elements 8 actually on Windows 7, running on Windows 7 desktop. And what I wanted to show you here was how we would go about doing this on the Windows 7. So let me take these headphones off once again here. We'll go and start talking about this. Okay. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and work on this Windows 7 and bring Windows 7 into it with Photoshop Elements. Now this happens to be Photoshop Elements 8, but we're going to bring that up here. And let me see if I can do this now. You can see the pictures here. We're going over them. We're going to select a group of pictures. You're in the organizer at this point. Now this is how it works on Photoshop Elements on Windows. We'll select a group of pictures, just like that. Once we get those selected, hopefully this is working all right. Seems like it should be. We will simply go to File, and then go to Print. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's working. Hold on, let me make sure I got this up on the screen for you guys. Okay, let me switch back to this shot here just to make sure we have this. Okay. There we go. So now we have this shot up here. All these pictures are selected. You can see here. I selected all these pictures right here. And we're going to go to File and then Print. Now in the print dialog, this is where I told you earlier, you would select up here Qt PDF Writer. Because what that's going to allow us to do is allow us to create a PDF file that you can email to your client. Because that's what the contact sheets are for. If you're just coming on board, that's what we're talking about here is contact sheets. The contact sheet is for just that. I build them when I do weddings, and I email them out to the people so they can actually have those just as proofs, and they can start picking and choosing what they like off of there. So we are going to choose under select type of print, you're going to choose contact sheet. And you can see here now where the pictures are right here, and there's actually 4 of those, and they're actually built into a contact sheet. That's how that works. So it's really simple to build these contact sheets as PDFs. Now we're going to simply click on print. And it's sending that page actually to Qt PDF Writer is where it's sending it. No, hopefully it'll come up here and ask me where I want it. It's going to ask me right here. Here's the dialog box, save as. Yeah, my desktop is so crazy on this Windows PC, you couldn't even imagine. I'm going to tell you about something else here as soon as we get this little tutorial done here of what I worked on for 2 hours this morning to get it to work, and it's really cool. I think you'll enjoy it. So we're going to name this Contact Sheet, maybe number 1 PDF, and hit save. Now once we have that done, what we can do here is find it, double click on that. Now it's going to open up in your PDF reader. You can see there's a really nice contact sheet of your pictures that you took for that actual client. So it's really, really nice, easy way to keep up on your clients. You have to be able to talk to your clients about things, and this is really a great way to do it. Just trying to get my mouse back here. So that is a really great way to, be able to share the pictures with your clients, and have the client's feedback. They can circle the picture. I usually have them put a little star in the lower corner of it, the ones they want. And then those are the ones that I actually upload to the online store where they can actually purchase those. So that's what we normally do with that. So let me go ahead here. I see we're picking up viewers, and that's great. It's good for everybody to be joining in here. But I'm going to go ahead and grab a cup of coffee. I do that from time to time, take a little break, because your throat gets dry with talking so much. I don't know how DJs do it, and radio announcers and TV people, but it's kind of crazy. The number is right there at the bottom of the screen. If you want to call in, 724-701-0911. 724-701-0911. Or if you don't want to incur long distance charges, if you still get charged long distance on your phone at home, you can always call in by using Skype and just use Jack's Tech Corner. You don't need the video part of it. All you would need basically, if you want to call, is just Skype me, and you don't need a video camera, like I said. But if you want a video in, that makes it even more interesting. I'll try to get your video up in the shot and try to have a conversation with you, and we can have the video going too. So, and I'm sure you've seen that on different shows on Justin TV here. So let's go ahead. I'm going to actually run down, grab another cup of coffee. I'm going to give you a shot of the studio here, like this. Okay, I made it back, and back in the studio, in the seat here. Hey, if you want to call in, it'd be great to hear from you. 724-701-0911. Like to hear from you. Or Skype me at Jack's Tech Corner. It's another great way to be able to reach the show here. And love to hear from you. Love to get you to call in. Like I said, I purchased that number just for you folks because that number is an actual Skype in number, which means you can call with any cell phone or home phone and give me a ring there. So 724-701-0911 is the number. And we are going to go on to our next demonstration. Ugh, sorry about that. A little yawning here. We are going to go on to our next demonstration here, which is going to be adding text to your pictures. A lot of people get kind of weird about the text, but it makes a nice enhancement, I think, to any picture. And the reason it makes a nice enhancement is you can put somebody's name on the picture. We can bold it, raise it, and do different things with the fonts that you can't do a lot of other ways, like with Microsoft Word. For instance, you can do some word art, but that's kind of lame anymore. So we're going to actually work on this a little bit with this picture here, and we're going to see what happens. Hopefully everything's still streaming out there okay. I don't get a whole lot of feedback from you guys. The chat window is also open. If you go to justin.tv/Jack's Tech Corner, if that's where you're viewing us at, the actual chat window is open. So if you want to go there and pop a chat in, sorry guys on Ustream, I'm not watching Ustream at the present moment, so I'm not monitoring that window right now. We'll figure out how we can make a custom chat thing and everybody can chat in one place. I think it might be better. Okay, guys, so let's go ahead and we're going to move on here. Let me just find a picture we're going to use. Yeah, we're going to actually pop over. Let's try this and see if this works. Yeah, nope, that's not going to work. That doesn't look good at all. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Let's see here. Let's try this. Okay, now you should have a shot here with a picture-in-picture. That was pretty neat the way it faded in there. I did like that. And we're going to see if you can watch me as I actually work on these pictures. So I'm going to get rid of that. I need to find a picture to work on. And I know, folks, a lot of people email me and said, Jack, what the heck, man? You should have all your pictures laid out and ready to go. Well, I usually don't. I'm just like most Americans these days, a procrastinator. So I usually don't have pictures lined up and ready to go. But so I'm going to find some we can use here. And as you see, I take a lot of pictures, just tons of pictures. We'll see what we can come up with. I don't know why I'm tired. Sorry about you see me yawning there. I don't know why I'm tired. I slept until 8 o'clock this morning. Well, about 7 o'clock. Got to bed about 12:30 last night. The other night was interesting because I was actually working on some software and didn't get to bed until when the wife yelled at me at 3:30 in the morning and said, "Hey, you going to bed?" And I said, "Yeah, I guess so." We'll do something maybe neat with this one. Let's right-click this. I am on the Mac here, in case you're interested or not, which shouldn't really matter. Macs and PCs are so much interlaced anymore. I get so tired of people saying, Jack, I can't buy a Mac. I can't use it. Well, if you can't use a Mac, there's a problem there. I have Macs and PCs. And I said thank God for Bill Gates, because that's what I do for a living, is work on most of his Windows stuff. So thank God he was around. I mean, it actually gave me a job. So I'm going to edit this in external editor here. Get that to come up. I like the picture-in-picture. Hold on a minute. I do like the picture-in-picture. I don't know how long it takes Justin TV to flip over to where I'm at. Seems like I've been here a long time. Seems like it's not flipping over. It's kind of weird, actually, that it's playing so far behind. I don't know what the delay is, where you guys are. Hopefully you're keeping up with me here and watching these video streams and everything. Everything's streaming. Just doesn't seem like it's turning over. It's really weird. I don't know. It kind of freaks you out there when you're looking at another screen. So anyway, here we are. We're going to do some text on this actual picture. And this picture was taken by me on the railroad. We went to the Maryland Railroad. I don't know if you've ever been there. It's well worth the trip. It's a nice trip through the countryside. I do suggest to buy what they call the first class ticket. It's 10 extra bucks, but you get a nice dinner. They bring it to the car and actually serve you in the car. You get a nice dinner as you're riding on this train. It's really, really nice, folks. It's a great way of experiencing Maryland. Of course, today we went, it rained, and the engine, believe it or not, could barely pull the hill. That was kind of interesting. So they had to go out and actually put sand down on the tracks, is what they were doing. And putting sand down on the tracks to actually give the train more grip, I guess. So, you know, just like you would do traction, because the tracks were wet. So that was interesting. So anyway, that's the history of this picture. Now we're going to actually go ahead and add some text to it. We will add on there Maryland Railroad and kind of make it look interesting. So what you want to do is simply grab your text tool, right? That's the easy part of it. And go where you want your text. We're going to put it down here by these stones. I'm going to pull this across. And when you do that, you're going to notice that a new layer comes up here on the right. So if you can see that happening there. The new layer is on the right here. So then you can start typing in here. Check your background or your text color first up here. See at the top. Let's make this something we can actually see. Let's make it red. Hey, it doesn't want to let me do it. I don't understand it. Okay. Why that's going like that, I have no idea. I'll tell you what, let's get rid of this layer. We're going to delete that layer and start over here because it's not working out for me. Okay, delete that layer. Duplicate the background layer, right? Control J or Command J. Click down here to get a text box. That is much too big. Let's lower the font size down here to about 48. And we will see the font is still showing as black. We want it to be red. And we will type in there Maryland. Now, Maryland, no, we'll just type in the railroad. All right. Once you get your text actually typed in there, where it says railroad, what we're going to do now is click the move tool. And this is what really spazzes people out. It's kind of weird, but it does spazz people out how this works. Because you're on a new layer on the right, we can see where it says layers. Because you're on a new layer, we can move this anywhere we want it because it's on a layer on top of that page. You can also stretch this, and it actually, you stretch this out, we can actually make this text a little bigger. Click on the checkbox here. If you double click it, you can actually play with your fonts. There's 60. Let's make it 72. Make it interesting. Okay, so 72. You can change the font color. You can change the font style. You can put any style you want in there, actually. Let's see. There was a style that I really liked here, font style. That's interesting. I don't know if it's going to work for what I want to do with it. But we'll play around with that a little bit and see what happens. Let's see here if this is going to work out or not. Just checking here. Alright. So let's say we're going to leave that as that type of text. I got to maybe help you folks too here at one point. We're going to learn about loading more fonts in Photoshop Elements. If you want to hear about that, that is. I mean, if you want to know about it. We are now going to go up to Effects. Now, let's go over here, maybe in Filters. No, I guess you can't. Now we can go over to Effects. We're on that layer, so we're going to do some effects to it. You see what happened. If it's double clicked, you can't do anything. Everything locks up until you click the checkbox at the top or hit the enter key. Oops. Don't hit the enter key. Let's see here. Oops, we don't want that, do we? Okay. So don't hit the enter key on it. Just click the checkbox at the top. I think it makes more sense. Just checking the feed here. Looks like it's going good. Hey, welcome aboard. You got a few more viewers here with Jack's Tech Corner. And I'm going to try to prolong this one today. If you guys want to hang out with me, might be a few hours. So grab your breakfast and sit in front of the computer and watch these shows. I think we'll be all right. Or better yet, call me. 724. Notice I don't have it on this screen. I didn't want to take anything away from the screenshots now. 724-701-0911. Or Skype me at Jack's Tech Corner. Okay, so now that we have this layer selected, we're going to add some stuff to that actual text under to make it more interesting. First thing we're going to do is move it a little bit more because I think it's too close to the man. So let's move it down here. We'll try to keep it on the gravel because I think the red looks better on the gravel than what it did on it before. So we're going to leave it on the gravel there. Okay, so with that selected, we are now going to go. First thing I like to do with this stuff is as soon as I find the effect I want there, I'll get it, don't worry. I've actually had people email me and say, Jack, have you done these videos before? You're like, yeah, I've done a lot of them. But it's live. So what you get in this live video. What I want here is, and I knew it was in there, bevels. Because the first thing I want to do is give that text a little bit of detail is what I want to do with that text. So what we're going to do here is we're going to give it a bevel. And you can pick any bevel you like, whatever you like to play with. Let's apply that. And you can see right away here, hopefully you can see that. I'm going to try to bring this up on your screen. There, I think now you can get a better view of this. Actually, let me click on this here and bring this over. Okay, so now it is actually beveled, is what that is. It's beveled up. Now we can do things with that text and play with it a little bit more. And what we can do with it is if you double click the little FX over here on the right, it's on the same layer as the text in case you can't see it. And the best way, folks, I've seen watching these Justin TVs or on Ustream, full screen it. Click the little thing and full screen the view. If you have two monitors and you're playing along as you're watching me, another good thing you can do with this is to do the pop-out window on Justin TV, because then you can resize the playback video that you're seeing with me, and it works really nice. So that way, if you have two monitors, you can work on Photoshop Elements as I'm talking, and we can do this together. That's a great way to learn. What we're going to look at here now is different things like drop shadows. We can drop shadows. And you can see there, it gives it a little bit different effect. I'm trying to keep this up in here somewhere where we can see this together. It gives it a little bit different effect. Let me move this down a little bit maybe. Let's click OK. Move this down. Sorry, just trying to adjust these windows so you can see better. I want everybody to be able to watch this as we're working with this. Okay, so we gave it a drop shadow. That's pretty cool with text. I like that effect. The bevel itself we can bring up and down right here. It's already selected. Right, you can make it have more bevel, but you don't want too much because you want to make it look real. And what I mean by real is you're trying to get that 3D look and feel of that actual text is what you're hoping to get. And the wife just informed me when I went downstairs, we don't have any more coffee made. No, we're not out of coffee. We just need to make some more. It's hard doing these live shows if you can't talk, right? So this is the railroad. This is actually the text itself. And like I said, if you're coming on board here to the show, we are working on text and how to add text to a picture. And now we're actually working to enhance the text to make it look more interesting. If you want to call into the show, I just want to throw that out there. 724-701-0911. You can stop me at any time. I would prefer if you wait until after the tutorial. When I come back up on full screen, then you can call in. It'll be a great time to talk to you. So if you have questions about this video, just keep writing them down. We're doing all right. Okay, we talked about drop shadows. And again, you can change the distance. You can see the distance dropping. It's actually almost dropping onto the pavement there, if you can see that. Hopefully you can, and I'm sure you can. It looks very, very good on the video. I've been very pleased with the screenshots today. I think everything looks really good here. And if you're watching this on Justin TV, welcome aboard. We're also simulcasting this morning onto Ustream.tv. If you go to Ustream, just type in Jack's Tech Corner, all one word, and you'll find me there also. So if you're coming in from there, I'd like to hear from you also, by all means. Or I don't look at the screen a whole lot, but if I turn around, you can actually use the chat window also, and I can touch base with you there. The opacity is just that, is how light do you want it, right? Or how detailed. Maybe you want more detailed. Okay, the next thing we're going to look at is glows. There's two different type of glows with any text you're working with. It's an inner glow or an outer glow. Okay, there's two ways to look at that. So if you click on glow and you click on inner glow, you'll see it's kind of changing the letter color itself. If you do an outer glow, it's putting that color around the outside. Again, giving it more detail. That all depends on how much detail you want. I used to watch one gentleman's web shows that did a lot of Photoshop tutorials, and he was amazing. You know, if you think I know even half of this stuff, you should have seen him. He's just simply amazing. And I don't know where he went now. If you guys know, maybe you can drop me an email. You can email me at jackstechcorner@gmail.com. But he was amazing because I think it was called Pixel Perfect. I don't know if you guys remember seeing that or not, but it was a wonderful show. But he was amazing, and he can take these fonts and have the colors to make it look like the pounded out copper. I don't know if you guys remember that in school or not when you was in probably middle school or high school. You made those little copper things where you pounded them. He would make that text look just like that. Amazing stuff. We're going to change the color, though. I don't really like that background color. We want to blend a little bit better. Let's try the blue color. And again, the size, you can increase the size of this, right? Don't want to take from your picture, though, so don't make it too big. We could do the opacity again. Make it a little darker, a little lighter, right? All right, then the last thing you could talk about here is what's called stroke color. Let me close a couple of these up here and see if we can't. There we go. Let's get the bevel up here. And the stroke color is just that. It's kind of a filling. I mean, now if you look at that text, that looks pretty amazing. It's very interesting to see that text come alive as you're working on it. You know, it takes experimentation whenever you're working with your photos and you're doing any editing. You have to experiment with it. And you're experimenting to the point where you're learning. Don't be afraid to take a picture and click it. And that's why we create that. That's why we duplicate the background layer, right? Because we're not going to destroy the picture. That's the whole thing here, folks. You don't want to destroy the picture. So you use that that part there, and you actually, it's a non-destructive is what I call this. This is the non-destructive layer. So that's what you want to do. Always duplicate that background image. Okay, so the stroke, once again, you can change the color. Maybe you want a different color here. Maybe you want to make it a nice soft blue. All right, we can do something like that. There you go. Makes it interesting, right? Blue and red. Doesn't look bad. All right, so that looks okay. And you don't want to make it, again, too big, too detailed. You could fill in the letters if you want like that. That looks pretty cool. Or we can actually take it out a little bit. Just kind of outline the letters. That looks even better. Again, you can lower the opacity. Opacity is just that. It lightens and darkens the actual picture itself. So that's how that works. Okay, so that is how you would do some work with lettering. There's so many different things you can do with text on a picture. It's really something. Here, I'm going to click OK on here and show you this now. So if we go to View, we're going to go to Fit to Screen. And now you can see how nice that text looks down there. And you're going to frame this. Looks really cool, and everybody's happy. You know, it's a nice picture. It's a really, really nice picture there. So that is how we work with text, and how we actually get that text to come alive on your page, right? That's important. Okay, so hopefully maybe you have some questions. Maybe you have some ideas for something you want to see this morning. We're going to go live here. So hopefully, like I said, you have some idea or some question, something you want to go live with. You want me to show you how to do in Photoshop Elements. Maybe there's something bothering you or something you've been questioning for a while. Probably, folks, if you stopping by here this morning, you have probably seen my videos on YouTube. There's about 200 of them now with different subjects, not just Photoshop Elements. I wanted to show people that I can expand my horizon and teach many different topics of the computer. So I did get away from Photoshop Elements a little bit, but that's why I wanted to do this Sunday live show just on Photoshop Elements to kind of help you out. So once again, the number is there on your screen, and you can actually call in. It would be great to hear from you this morning. Like I said, the feed is not as fast. It's weird. It's weird if you're watching yourself broadcasting. I don't know if that's like it on TV either. They're talking, and if they watch a monitor, the live broadcast, it's kind of weird because you don't actually see it. So that's interesting. But by all means, call me 724-701-0911. Call me with any cell phone, any home phone. That works just fine. You don't have to actually Skype in at that point. You can Skype, though, to Jack's Tech Corner. I have Skype open, and that is a Skype in number. So it'd be great to hear from you and to get you over the show so other folks can hear your question. So on that note, I did want to tell you what I worked on this morning, and I don't know if I can bring it up. Let me see here if I have it here. This is one of the coolest programs. It took me 2 hours to set it up, but it is such a cool program. I think you'd really enjoy it. And the reason it took me 2 hours to figure it out is because because I didn't do any research before I started setting it up, basically. Let me see if I can actually present this a little better, because I just wanted to share this with you. It's not Photoshop Elements at this point, but I did want to share it with you anyway, you know, to show you how it actually, it's pretty interesting how it works. Let's see here. Let's see. Okay. Let's get this over here now. Okay, and what this is called Synergy KM. I just wanted to throw this out there because it's such a cool program, and it took me 2 hours to set it up so I can. The only reason you would use this is, say you have two computers, maybe you have a laptop and a desktop at home like many of us do. I have two desktops sitting side by side plus a laptop running right now. This program allows me, I can control all those computers just from my iMac, just from sitting in front of the iMac. I can control every one of those computers. You can also set this up, and I haven't tried it, but I'm kind of inspired to try this. You can also set this up on a Linux machine. Let me see if I can do this pip again, see what it looks like. Go live with this. Okay, good. You can also do this with a Linux machine. Now, so you can control all your computers in your computer room with simply one keyboard and a mouse. So I started thinking about this with broadcasting, and I thought with broadcasting these shows, it's kind of cool because you see a lot of the broadcasters sitting in front of their laptop, but different things are happening. And that's because they can control all their computers, they control their broadcast machines with their laptop and their mouse. They can just move it around. As they're Skyping with somebody, they can control everything else, and you wouldn't know any difference. All you have to do is be able to see the monitors at that point. So actually, I set this up this morning, and the reason I said it took 2 hours is because I didn't research it, and I always research everything. But I was trying to write the configuration files. I hate the screensaver on this computer back here. So as you hear me talking here, I got the laptop out actually too, so you probably just see me pull it over, but I'm trying to see where we're at here. I gotta shut the screensaver off for now. It's bugging me. Let's see here. Hold on a minute. Let's shut the screensaver down. Yeah, we'll just pull it over here for now. Yeah, 2 hours is good. I don't think we'll go any further than 2 hours. So, let's just pull this back up. Okay, so anyway, with Synergy, it allows you to control all your computers, your Mac, Windows, and Linux computers. So that's pretty cool, actually. From one keyboard and mouse. So it took me 2 hours this morning because here's what happened. The actual part that was bad was I was trying to do it, all the configuration file for the Mac by hand. And then it dawned on me, Jack, you need to do some research. I'm sure somebody wrote an interface to do this a lot easier. And sure enough, they did. It's automatic. I set it up to come on with the computer. And what it allows me to do, this is the Mac version here. It puts it right into your system preferences. Right here, Synergy. It's really cool. It kind of builds right in. We're going to close that out. I should go up here and just shut my system preferences down. Okay. Now, let's see here. We're going to bring that picture back up here just a minute. Let's show you this. So what it does is, I don't think I can do it. No. Okay. So what this does is now I can go from my Mac, my iMac, to 27-inch, and I set it up. I didn't show you that. Let me show you this again here real quick. Okay, Synergy. Now, so when you set this up, and we can have a tutorial on this also. Let me bring my picture back up here. Go. So when you set this up, you have to set it up with how do you have your computers configured? Where are they sitting? To the left, to the top, or below? It's pretty important. So that's right here where it says server configuration. I have my Windows desktop machine above my iMac 27-inch. So what that means is if I move my mouse up, it will actually go to the other machine. Alright, so I'm going to close the system preferences. It's actually not working now because I've been playing with it. Yeah, it is working. Okay, there's my mouse over on my other machine. Okay. Now, I made it on top, and the reason I had to make it on top was because I have a second monitor hooked to the iMac to the right, and that's what I do the broadcasting from. that's how the broadcasting actually works. I'm still amazed on how far you guys, if you can see where I'm recording right now and where the broadcast is. I guess as long as the timing stays okay. And we'll check out the audio here after I'm done with the recording. Okay, let me go to the Windows 7 computer. And we're going to bring this up. Now where it's cool is, now I'm using my mouse and keyboard on the iMac to run the Windows computer. That way, when I'm actually doing these live broadcasts, I don't have to switch around and go to many different computers and everything. I can just simply use one keyboard and mouse and control everything. So I need to build like a laptop stand for my laptop, and I can have a big studio here working. So, okay, folks, I am going to take another short break, and I will be right back. It's good to see everybody joining us today and viewing Jack's Tech Corner. And again, if you have some questions, by all means, I'd like to hear from you. So let me bring up some tunes here. And we'll bring up some tunes. Yes, hello. I'm sorry. I had the music up there.
This is weird because watching you and hearing you, it's in two different time zones here.
Yeah, I think the main thing is when folks call in, turn your speakers down your computer if you can.
Turn them off?
Yeah, are you using Skype or are you just calling in?
I'm just calling in.
Okay, yeah, turn the speakers down on the computer there because there's going to be a delay if you listen to it that way.
Yeah. I had a question on the last tutorial there on the text. Did you do all the editing on one layer? That's what it looked like.
On the text itself?
Yes.
Yes, correct. Yeah, the text is all actually on its own layer. And if you have multiple text, the way that works is if you have different lines of text, each one of those could be on their own layer. And then what I like to do is highlight all those at once and group them together. So that way when you're adding your effects, it's going to add them together, if that makes sense. Or you can even flatten it down to one layer.
Oh, okay. All right. That makes sense. I just didn't know if there was any... I guess the only advantage to multiple layers would be if you wanted to add different effects to the different layers. Is that...
That's correct. Yeah, because every time you start a new line of text, you're right, it's on a new layer, and you're right, you can have as many effects as you want that way. I think it's pretty interesting how they do that.
Okay. Well, that answered my question.
And what is your first name, by the way? Can I get your first name?
Brian.
Brian. Where are you from, Brian?
Cape Cod.
Oh, great. Okay. And how's the stream looking in Cape Cod? I don't really I watch it here, but it looks a little delayed. I don't know how you're seeing it.
It's seen as though it looks good. I think it's maybe my server or my my supply. I don't know, what do you call them?
The ISP.
The ISP. Every once in a while it buffers, so it has to catch up to where you are. Okay,
but other than that, it looks okay, though. That's good. That's the main thing. And
yeah, no, it looks good.
Have you been watching my YouTube videos also, Brian?
Yes, I started watching them, I don't know, maybe in the beginning of 2008. I actually have a couple of your CDs, the first two.
Oh, good. Great.
So I've been trying to keep up with it.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, it takes a lot of time to keep up with. It's probably as much time as it does to make the actual DVDs themselves. I know I put a lot of time into that. But I'm glad glad you're supporting the show, Brian. I'm glad you picked up that phone and called in today. It makes these televised shows a little bit more interesting if I can hear from you guys.
Yeah, it's I guess it would be kind of hard to sit there and not know if anybody's listening and to keep doing it. Jack, is there a version of that you know of Elements that would work on Linux? Since you posted that video, I acquired another computer and I put Ubuntu 10.4 on it because I just wanted to try it out, and I kind of like it. But is there a version of Elements that would work on that that you know of?
No, there's not. It's interesting that you asked that maybe you're using Linux. Usually what I suggest to people using Linux is a program called Picasso or Picasa. And I did some videos a while back on that also, but it's from Google and it's free. So obviously you said yes, so you must know about it.
Yeah, I tried that on that, and there are a couple other programs. Picasa, I have a copy of that on one of my other Windows machines, and on the Linux machine, I can't figure out how to import from a network. I had a hard time getting all these. I got two different versions of Windows. I got the old XP, and I got a Vista, and this Linux all on one network, and I can finally get them all to talk to each other, but I can't. I'm having a hard time importing onto the Linux from the Windows machines. The Vista machines, no problem. That'll come right in, but the XP is a problem. And I was just curious whether I could find an Elements program that would work on Linux, but I guess not.
Yeah, there's actually not anything. I mean, the closest thing to Elements would be GIMP. I'm sure you've heard of GIMP and you've used it.
Yeah.
And I've tried that on PCs, Brian, and on PCs I find out that GIMP is kind of sluggish, I guess, to be the better word for it. On the Ubuntu, I don't know what version of Linux you're running. I normally run Ubuntu, and on Ubuntu it seems to work relatively well.
Yeah, that's the one I'm running. Ubuntu 10.4, I think it is. It's trying to keep all this straight, I guess, in my head. All these different programs, GIMP and Elements are a little bit different. I mean, so I was just trying to make it easier for myself, I guess.
Yeah, and I don't know if you run any Macs or not there, but on the Mac, there was a gentleman actually created a project called the GIMP Shop. And the GIMP Shop, he actually went in and recoded everything to, in other words, it looks and feels just like Photoshop. The menus are all named the same, and it works pretty much the same way. Again, there's a little bit of a issue there because, like I said, there's a little bit of lag, and it's nothing against the folks at GIMP. I love open source projects, and so I'm not bad-mouthing anybody by any means because I think they're great programs. I teach them. I teach GIMP because there's people that just can't afford Photoshop Elements or can't afford Photoshop. Who can afford to lay out $700 or $800 for Photoshop?
Exactly. I mean, even Elements, they keep upping it. The last one, I still have 7. I don't even have 8 or 9. But I did see that. I did see that program search that you just said, GIMP Shop, I think it is. But it looked like it was only for a Mac, that it wouldn't work on Linux. Yeah,
that is correct. It is for the Mac, but like I said, he wrote that program. That's pretty cool that he did that. And I don't know anything else for Linux that would be easy. Why Adobe never wrote for Linux, I think they may be missing the boat. A lot of people are missing the boat on that one because people are using Linux. I actually work for a school. In the technology department, but it's funny because I have kids come to me talking to me about Ubuntu, so obviously people are using it.
Yeah, I kind of like it. It's a little. I'm not so much a terminal person because coming from Windows, just getting used to how Linux works is a little bit different. So I didn't jump into the terminal thing yet, that part of it, but. It seems to actually run a little better than a Windows program. But there is a program, Digicam, which is a program pretty much like Picasa, and that I've had a little better luck with importing pictures off of the network. The problem. Linux keeps asking you. It's almost like what they put on on Vista, it keeps asking you for this password over and over for almost every move you make. All right. I don't want to take up all your time, but I'm going to continue watching the show here.
Okay, Brian. Well, I do appreciate you calling in. I'm going to take a short 5-minute break here, and then I'll be back. So, but if you have any ideas, by all means, call me and let me know. And thank you for calling into this show. I do appreciate the feedback.
All right, Jack. Talk to you later.
Have a good day, Brian.
You too. Bye.
Okay, and as I said here, we're going to flip these cameras over here, and that was Brian. Once again, Brian, thank you very much for calling into the show. I'm going to take a short break, so I'm going to bring up... Okay, so I don't know how much you were into heart there. I am back in the studio. And I think with Brian asking about layers, I was thinking there during the short intermission break that I thought I would actually... I don't know why Skype does that. Okay. I thought what I would do then is take the a few minutes there. We're going to talk more about text, Brian. Since you asked about it, I think it'd be great to explain. I mentioned to you about the different layers, and I wanted to show you how that actually works. So we will go back to Photoshop Elements. And see if we're going to get this up here. Let me see what this looks like. Yeah, that's good. Okay. All right. So we're going to bring this picture back up. I'm not trying to beat the horse to death, I guess, so to speak, or however you want to say that. What I wanted to do is clarify this because Brian brought up a good point. First of all, he asked, does the text come upon a new layer? Yes, it does. There's a new layer every time you add a line of text. And then was asked, well, is that so you can actually add different effects? Again, very good, very observant. Yes, you can add different effects. And then I brought up that we can actually group those together. I hope this works because this is live and sometimes this happens. You guys watch some of my YouTube videos. I'm sure you've seen this happen. I go to do something or demonstrate something. It's like, holy crap, and it didn't work. So we're going to piece this together and see if this is going to work. But what I'm going to do here is, and what I'm talking about is either merging or flattening. Because once I get all my text done, you could flatten those and use the same effects on all the text. So, and that's a time saver if you're going to do the same thing with text. So, let's go ahead and add another text line. Here's our first one, right here. The first one we did was railroad. And actually, I'm good now. I actually went down and put on a half a pot of coffee. So, we're good. We can move on here and do some more of these videos. So, railroad is there. And I'm actually, let me see here for 1 second. It's so cool that you can control two computers with one keyboard and mouse. This is so neat. Let's see, I need a new tab. Let's look here and see. Killing my bandwidth in the studio. Studio. It's actually my computer room, but I guess it's called studio. Okay. So what we're going to add here, come back to this computer, is we are going to add Maryland on top of that, because I told you this is the Maryland Railroad. That's where I took this picture at. So let's add some more text. Click on text. Go over here. Click. And we will type Maryland. I probably need to get new batteries for my keyboard. And if you guys use wireless keyboards or not, wireless mice, but it seems to eat up batteries is what it seems to do more than anything else. Once you get that typed, just click the checkbox. Click the move tool. Remember, we can move it. We're going to move it on top of this one. Here, we'll move it by the train. We'll click on this one. We'll move this one over to the right a little bit. Click back on this one, and the text is actually selected once again. Now, there you go. So Brian was asking how many layers, or does it create new layers? And there it is. There's new layers of text right here and here. And I was also going to show you, hopefully this works. If you click down here where it says create a fill or adjustment layer, you can actually use a solid color and color that, or a gradient. Actually, that's gradient the whole thing, so not really what I wanted. Take that off of there. You have to actually be able to link this to the new layer, to the gradient, to get that to work. So again, remember, live shows, bear with me, that does happen. So let me magnify this up here, because we're going to look at these two layers again. Try to bring this up here. Oops, too far. Let's check it back out a little bit. And I'll just bring this up right here. Okay. So here's our layer we're working on, is this one right here. And we're going to do we could do a different effect on that one, right? You can come up here. You can give it a different bevel. Maybe you want to do a different bevel. Such as that, sort of engraved. It looks pretty cool. Then you can double click the FX again, like I said before, and work with all your settings. Your drop shadows, there's some drop shadow on it. Size, again, you can work with all that. All right, I'm not going to bore you with that. So, and we can do the glows just like we did before. We can do everything we wanted to do. Strokes. So we can change the stroke color. Maybe give some blue. We can lower the size down a little bit. Make it just so it's just a little bit outlined. It almost looks like the other one at that point, except for the different bevel. That's the only difference. So click OK on that. So you're exactly right. When you asked that earlier, Brian, there is thanks for calling and asking that, because it, like I said, when I create these tutorials for you folks out there, I can't envision what you might be thinking. So I try to show you straightforward, and it's like, oh yeah, different layers. That makes sense. Now, let me see here if we can actually. Now what I said about merging them is you'll grab that top one. You can hold your command key down and grab that bottom one. Those two layers, I don't know if you can right click on it and do it not. You can link the layers. That means they're linked. Let's unlink them. Linking the layers is just, when you link the layers, that means you can pull them around on your screen together. So let's do that. Let's say link the layers. Now if I pull this one, that bottom one comes with it. See what I mean? Pretty cool. That is not what we want to do. We got those both selected. If we go under layer, you actually want to merge layers. Now you can see there, here I'll shut this off. Check this out. Both the text files are now, you can see they're both highlighted. They're both on one layer is how that works. So now if we add the bevel, we can add it to both layers. We can work on all this together. You can see here now it affects both of them together. There you go. So I hope that really answers your question of how that works. Oops. I'm going to back this off a little bit. Just like that. Okay. We will turn our layers back on. We will click here, get rid of that, and go back to view and fit on screen. Open the window up. I'm surprised how cold it is outside today. I don't know where you folks are from. We are on the East Coast here. We're in the state of Pennsylvania. So that's where I got the shot from Maryland. Maryland wasn't a long trip for myself and my wife one day. We took a ride there. A couple hours, I guess, maybe to get there. A couple 2 or 3 hour trip. Very, very nice. Then we drove home the same day. Sorry about yawning. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know why I'm tired. So we are dropping viewers there pretty rapidly. At least on, I'm only seeing Justin TV, so maybe Ustream is coming along and we have some viewers there. I'm not sure. So, let's see here. So hopefully that helps you understand a little bit better about, I love the hairdo there. Headphones mess your hair up pretty bad. Not that I'm worried about it. I'm the computer guy, right? I'm worried about the screen itself and how this video is looking. So hopefully you understand more about text now and layers and how each individual line of text is a new layer. So it's pretty interesting how that works. There's just unlimited possibilities. I did one video a while back, quite a while back, of how to put a picture behind a text. That was pretty cool because what happens there is the picture is behind the text and it's showing through the text. And now, I recently seen this. We took a trip to the Amish country and people are actually making those. They're cutting out like a mat. So the letters are like the ones I have on the screen for this video. And they're actually made so you can put your pictures behind them and see your kids and doing things. And so it's interesting how things come around, I guess, to your life. With that, I don't see any more viewers coming online there. I was going to run this show until 12, but I think we will end it. And the reason I say that is it gets pretty large to try to get it up on YouTube. I so much enjoy doing these shows. And Brian, I can't thank you enough for calling in. I had a call during my first show, the main caller or the voyage caller or whatever I called him. But it's always great, like you said, having somebody call in because it's saying, Jack, hey, we're watching. We're out here and we're watching these shows. Thanks for putting them out. That's what I do it for. I do it so you guys are watching and we can work together. That's why I wanted to do a live segment. And I'm still learning about the live shows. It's not as easy as I thought it would be to do live shows. There's a lot of interesting stuff you have to go through to produce your show and to make it look interesting enough online. Now I get to go back and I'll highlight this on Justin TV. When I highlight it, I guess I've been told that they keep them forever. So the other thing is we're trying to figure out still yet if you guys ever want to take a minute, load up Skype and Skype in. I'm still trying to figure out how we get a video feed up of you talking, a person talking to me, and we'll have both of us up on the screen. My problem right now is I don't know how to get the video back to you. So, and I've been contacting a few other broadcasters on Justin TV, some folks I watch that have been doing this longer than I, and I feel that they can maybe help me out. So I think that's going to be a big deal. Okay, so we will wrap this up. Like I said, it's 11:23. Thanks for all of you who have tuned in today. And if you did not tune in for this live show, if you're watching this on YouTube, or if you're watching it recorded, remember, every Sunday morning between the hours of 10 and somewhere around 12, depending on how many viewers we have, how many callers we have, we will keep these shows going for 2 hours if I have to. Or if you want me to, let's say that now, if I have to. Tune in to Justin TV. And also you can tune in to Ustream. I didn't watch that stream today. If you did, email me, let me know how it looked, and let me know what you think. And for some reason, Ustream is being weird because it's not recording this stuff. It's supposed to record it. I used to have my shows recorded when I produced them on Ustream. I don't know what's going on. I've got to look at that today and figure out why it's not recording. So if you want to join me Tuesday night I do what's called Windows Server Weekly. If you want to join me for that. And I'm also working on now another show called iPad Weekly. And the iPad Weekly, I don't know what we're going to do on that or not. Maybe you can come to the table here with some interesting applications we can talk about or play with. But I was able to actually broadcast my iPad onto my computer now. So that's really cool. so I can broadcast the iPad screen out to Justin TV and Ustream, and you guys can see what I see as I'm playing with it. So it's pretty interesting stuff. So until next week, take care. And like I said, if you want to, please check in with me on Tuesday night for Windows Server Weekly. I'll see you there. That show starts about 7 p.m. and that does run until about 8. So thanks for everybody for joining, and I'll see you back here next week on Jack's Tech Corner for Photoshop Elements Weekly. Bye for now.